Hey, how's it going? Otaku Mike here. Let's talk about Eddie Brock Carnage issue number 2. This one's going to be fun. So, Eddie Brock ends up, I think like a couple days later after the events of him saving everybody from the plane crash because he had to kill the pilot who was a serial killer in the first issue. Eddie Brock ends up turning himself in to the police. He's like, hey, my name's Eddie Brock. I'm a murderer. Arrest me, basically, is what he says. Eddie does end up using a fake name. I forget what the fake name is, turn himself in, but he does. And he's in there with the detectives, and they're like, so, we're going to read you your rights, this and that, if you want a lawyer, you can get a lawyer before you talk to us. And he's like, no, I don't want to talk to any of you. I want to talk to Detective Chuck Brentwood, I believe what his name is. And they're like, oh, he's not available right now. He's off duty. And they're like, no, I won't talk to anybody else but him. And they're like, lo and behold, who shows up? The detective that Eddie wants to talk to. And he ends up coming in. He's like, I'm Detective Brentwood. And Eddie's like, no, you're not. You're not Detective Brentwood. And he's like, oh, how do you know? He's like, all the subtle differences and stuff like that. And so the detective ends up turning off the cameras. Like, it's just you and me in here. So Eddie starts giving him the spiel of like what's exactly been going on, how he got aboard the plane, how he became the King in Black, how he met Carnage, and how Carnage was injured just like Eddie, so they kind of need each other. He gives him the whole like spiel that we kind of got from the first issue, basically. And they started talking, and Eddie's like, I know you're not Detective Brentwood. You're basically bushwhacker, and you're using this as a cover to basically hunt vagrants and torture them in your basements and stuff like that. And I am basically here to kill you. And then eventually things end up going from bad to worse in this interrogation because Bushwhacker ends up morphing his hand into like this gun thing, firing at Eddie, blowing a hole in the wall, and basically revealing to everybody else that, hey, something's wrong with the detective here and they don't know what's going on, and now they're having a fight within this little police station in Michigan. All right, so let's take a look at the artwork. Here's your creative team right there. I love this cover. This cover looks really cool. I might have to buy an extra issue just to hang up on the wall. But yeah, the artwork was fairly decent, I have to feel like. I feel like with like all the reds and the dark colors, they definitely set the mood for this particular series going on. One thing I have to say I'm not a huge fan of is the way they depicted Eddie's face in this. He kind of looked like he had like a dumb look on his face. But maybe that's just me in my personal opinion. But hey, art is subjective, so it is what it is. That's really like the only complaint I had was I just don't like the way they drew Eddie's face. It just looks weird. Maybe it's the coloring or something they have on it. But whenever Carnage pops up, man, that's where things really start to like go heavy, like with the artwork. Like whenever Carnage shows up, like the artwork looks amazing. Very gruesome. I love the body horror aspect whenever he changes into Carnage. And I'm gonna say the gun hand kind of looks a little disgusting. Just saying. But yeah, it's a really the artwork's decent, I feel like, for issue 2. So all in all, I did feel like this was a satisfying second issue in a sense. I do like that Eddie Brock, is basically hunting down the bad guys and supposedly trying to kill them. I really thought Eddie was going to go after the people on the wall that they showed in the first issue, but I guess you have to work up the stuff because I gotta say, I don't feel I don't feel like Bushwhacker is a good target. I feel like, everybody else is kind of up here and like Bushwhacker is kind of like down here in the bottom and whatnot. I did like it that they basically gave you like a crash course in kind of what happened to Eddie and gave you more like more clues to like what happened if you haven't read like King in Black and stuff like that. I did like that. I liked all the little things with him and Carnage and how Carnage just wanted to kill these people. And Eddie's like, no, you can't do that right now. Hold your horses. You'll get your fill of things eventually when we get to it. I thought it was funny how Eddie has to explain the situation to the detectives, and they're looking at him like, I don't know what's going on. He's like, no, this is a real thing. So like, I thought there was some like funny elements within this and whatnot. I have to say, I'm not a 100% fan of. There's a part that in this where I didn't really talk about, where the FBI is investigating what happened, and like I like Misty Knight as a character, and I think she's cool, but I kind of, and she's like investigating, like in trying to track down Eddie at this point, because she figures out that it was Eddie on the plane, and like he was using a fake name and stuff, all from like a little tiny picture. Which it's okay, and maybe it'll come to a head, and maybe have like a fugitive Harrison Ford style situation where Eddie is, going after these bad guys and killing them, and she's like, "Oh, we gotta take you in because you're killing people," but I'm doing a good job. No, I don't know. I mean, I guess Eddie's doing a good job, killing these superpowered people. But yeah, that part with the FBI, I kind of wasn't here for story wise. I felt like it kind of slowed things down. I really wanted to just focus on Eddie and Carnage. I thought that was like a big thing for this book, was Eddie and Carnage, and that's kind of what kept me going, is their weird, messed up relationship that they got going on. But I am interested to see where this goes, and seeing, hey, will he actually go through with it and kill Bushwhacker? I guess you could say, yeah, he could go through with it because Bushwhacker's not one of those top tier villains, so he could, I guess Marvel Comics will let them get away with it. Who knows? I'm really interested to see how far they actually push this to where Eddie actually goes about killing more and more people, like bad villains and stuff like that. Will Marvel actually let them go through with it? I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, I'm Otaki Mike. I'll catch you guys later. Let me know your thoughts on Eddie Brock Carnage issue number 2. I almost said Eddie Brock Venom. I keep wanting to say Venom. It's not Venom.